Hi. Yeah, I thought I'd make this video for you so you would have a better understanding of what I'm all about. Not that it matters that much, but I just thought, we talk a bit, and I thought it would help if you actually understand what I'm on about. Um, at least you know, I think it'll just help the situation a bit. Um, yeah, it's my life changed on the 16th of January last month. Today, a month ago, actually. Huge change. I'll tell you what happened, and I'll try and explain it all afterwards. It was about a month ago, well, it was actually on the 16th, I think. Raf ran off to London with this guy, and she's done it before. She did it with a bloke called Yahoo Mail. She's doing it again. But on the 16th of January last, I was drunk when she was doing it. Oh, for fuck's sake. And Boomba, I was talking to Boomba, and I was just a mess. I was just, oh, fuck. And Boomba said, is Raf doing this to you? I said, oh, fuck if I know, I don't know what it is. And that stage, well, I was just, I thought, oh, am I jealous or what? I just thought, she's only a kid. I was just drunk and miserable and the whole thing. And the funny thing is, at that stage, just to backtrack a bit, I'd basically gotten rid of all other Western women out of my life. It was pretty much, I was only talking to Boomba and to Raf, two people. All the others have sort of gone their own way. They're just not in my life anymore, just for one reason or another. Family have gone, anybody I spoke to, I was down to two people, two women. And there was really only one difference between the two of them. I write a lot, as you've noticed, in the room, and I always feel as if I'm imposing on people, because I can't just use one word. It's pointless to me. Like LOL, what's it mean? Ha ha ha, what's it really mean? Or one word or one small sentence, one phrase. It's just a comment. It means nothing. It's meaningless conversation. I actually like to, like this. There's a whole conversation. Now, if I was to write this in the room, it'll just go on and on and on and on and on. If I was to write it in an email, it'll just go on and on and on. In a verbal conversation, it seems acceptable, okay? Because it's not a long, it'll take half an hour and that's it. But I'll explain. It'll be like listening to a speech on TV, all right? So far it's taken 2.5 minutes. And it'll take you an hour to read it already. And you'd be getting pretty bored with it. Yeah, so I've always felt as if I'm imposing, and these bloody chat things, because of it makes it worse. And I've always felt as if I'm imposing on Raf, writing too much, because I like to talk, in full sentences, paragraphs, the whole thing. And I always felt as if I was imposing, but it goes back way beyond that. See, I was an unwanted child. I was a mistake to older parents, and they didn't do it in attacking one another in their drunken rages. They'd bring me up to nail one another. But I was sober and sitting there as a kid listening to it. And I think over and over repeatedly, several times a week, probably even nightly at times, they were actually saying, yeah, unwanted child, yeah, mistake, Bob's a mistake, Bob's a mistake. And you can't help it. You just get the feeling of, yeah, I'm imposing on them. And then you go to school and teachers have got that, or used to, probably still do, have that attitude of, really you're imposing on me, I'm busy here, can't you see? A bit of a smart ass attitude. Yeah, and then girls would get this sort of attitude of, you're imposing on me, I don't want to, and it's sort of one thing on top of another, and I'd say what happened in hindsight is that actually what happened is it just destroyed my total sense of self-respect. And it's not like you can just say, I'll just forget about it. Because you're hearing it nightly, you're hearing it from this group, you're hearing it from that group, you're hearing it from someone else. And I think people then sort of sense that you're weak or something, because it gets you down. And it got me down for 60 years. It really got on top of me. And they sense that weakness and they go for it, like a wolf going for the jugular. Yeah, but anyway, on the 16th, it got down to Boomba and to Raf. And Raf was going, she pissed off, okay? But Boomba had said, no, you're not imposing on me, Bob. I don't mind. Write as much as you like. Send us, she'd actually like receiving messages from me. Video messages, voice messages, text messages. She loved me writing to her. and communicating with her. And I thought, oh, it's actually, for me, it's good. I like it. I enjoy it because I'm a writer. I like to that's how I express myself. I write. I don't copy the latest mannerism, or I don't plagiarise what 750 million other people are saying. That's not my style. It's I'm a little bit unique in a way in that I communicate. I always will do. Always have done. Always will do. So, but anyway, Raph had gone, and I was down to one person, one woman I was talking to. It was Bumba, and she didn't mind, and she'd stated clearly, I don't mind you imposing on me. And I should also point out that this feeling of imposition spread to women, because I got to feeling with all the imposing that in a normal man's desire for sex, I felt as if I was also imposing on women, and they'd sort of say, oh God, can you fuck off, get off me, I don't want this. Get that feeling that you're imposing on them. So I stopped sex years ago, just cut it out. Just thought, no, stuff it. I can't be imposing on it. I had to try and lead my life. I didn't really understand what it was, and it's so obvious looking back on it, but I had no understanding of it at the time. And the funny thing was, without trying to explain anything, I'll tell you what the results of it. When Raph went away with this guy from London, and I was just down to Bumba, and I no longer felt I was imposing on her, on the 17th of January, I woke up, I no longer wanted to drink alcohol. Just like that. I'd gone from basically an alcoholic to teetotal, overnight. Oh, wow, why don't I want alcohol anymore? And I just didn't want it. It wasn't like, I really feel like a drink, but I'm going to force myself not to. No. Not only that, my food intake went from this down to this. Suddenly, I could actually get by on half a bowl of rice with a tiny bit of meat and a few vegetables. I didn't need a big mountain of food and double helpings anymore. Plus, a jam sandwich on top of that. On the 16th of January, I couldn't get enough food into me as usual. I could never satisfy my demand. On the 17th of January, I was full after half a bowl of rice. It was the most amazing thing I have ever seen in my life. It was almost like I pulled a virus out of my brain, or switched a program off. Because what would happen is something would go, something would happen, someone would say something implying that I'm imposing on them. I would then go, fuck you, and go and get a beer. I'd have a beer. I think, fuck it, I'll go in the room. So I'll go in the room and I start typing it. And someone say, well, you shut up, you talk too much. See, I'm imposing on. I'll have another beer. And then I'll have an argument with somebody. And the guilt, and the feeling of guilt because I was doing it, really fucking bothered me. And it was drink, and of course the more you drink, more you eat, and you just shovel it in. You don't sit there and chew every mouthful as you're supposed to, and prepare it for your body. No, you just shove it in. Now, what else do I have? Watch Raph on cam one day. That's what she does. Next, I have a drink, and she drinks like that, shoving it in. She's got the same problem. She's just, you just sit there and watch her, shoves it in. I feel sorry for her. I'm trying to say, look, find out what your fucking underlying problem is, and it's just bang, gone. But the strangest thing is that I stopped masturbating. I no longer had any desire to masturbate. I blamed Bum at one stage. I said, it's fucking you. I said, it's my ass pleasure, and because she thinks masturbation is a sin because the church told her so. Yeah. And I said, no, it's your fucking fault. So she said, because I didn't know. I've just stopped wanking. And I think, looking back on it, I think all of it gets down to self-respect, because suddenly it didn't, and what happened is it no longer bothered me that I was imposing on people. In fact, it was a funny thing, because I was in the room one day and I was writing about something, and what's his name, Hart Like a Lion, I said, Curious, I don't think you're any good for the room. You talk too much, you're saying too much, And I said, now normally that would have just crucified me. You know, I would have went, oh, fuck you, and go off, go and have 15 beers, get pissed as a fart and that sort of thing. I said, Hart, there's a button in the room that says, you know, ignore in the room. Press it. I won't be offended. Honestly. And he was saying, oh, no, don't ignore it. No. If I'm upsetting, I know I'm not, you know, if I'm pissing you off, fuck it, just press the button. And I'm gone. Yeah. Or, if you don't want to do that, just don't read me. That's the best thing about chat sites. Just don't, so when you see curious and see a sentence up, don't read it. And he was, so anyway, what's the name? Christina from South America, had booted him after that. She said, yeah, no, you know, has to learn respect. And I said, oh, it really doesn't bother me. But the underlying point was, it couldn't have happened at a better time. Only 4 days beforehand, or 3 days beforehand or something, it would have just destroyed me. It would have made me really angry and everything else like that. No, not this time. I thought, I don't care. I'm not going to apologise for imposing on anybody. I'm saying nothing wrong. I was talking about something and I was explaining it. I can't explain it in 3 words. And you know, I like to talk, have a conversation, you know, swap and share ideas, and I don't want to fight and argue and put people down. I've got no interest in any of that. Yeah, so, but when he said that, I thought, yeah, that'd be better. And he was really saying, you're imposing on the room. So I said, look, just ignore me. I don't care. I don't care who reads me. I was talking to one person, you know, I wasn't, and I always talk in the room, the same as I talk to you. We sometimes talk in PM, but often and I talk to Raf, and most people I talk in the room. And if they don't want to read, they're not involved in the conversation. I'm not talking to them. If they don't want to read it, don't read it. Yeah, it's that simple. Yeah, so, but I felt great. And he got booted. Not that I wasn't going, nah. I had none of that. In fact, I would have been just happy if he wasn't booted. But I haven't seen him in the room since, strangely enough. But, you know, I just thought, no, I really don't care. Just, you know, it's not like I'm on mic and he has no choice but to hear me. No, he's got a choice. You either read the person or you don't. And a lot of the people, I just thought, oh, no, I don't want to read them. I look at it, no. You know, like Nick will talk about, you know, my dick size, and I have a quick scan, and just not interested. You know, like it's something we would have done in infant school, maybe, or primary school. You know, little jabs that'll put down there. Little boys did. No, I've got no interest in that. No, I'm not going to come back with any smart-ass comebacks. Yeah, because that's mangina. They're smart-asses. You know, they have their smart-ass comments. So to what they expect is, you know, the sword fight to show, you know, I come back with my smart-ass comments, which makes me mangina. I'm not. I'm nicked out. And I don't rip it. I don't humiliate other men in the room. Yeah, if my dick's small, but or if somebody else's dick is small, I don't say anything to humiliate them. You know, or if they have some other, like if you got your dick out, you tell me it's small, I wouldn't say it's small. I wouldn't give a shit. I probably wouldn't look at it. Honestly, I'm not interested in dick. It's funny because I kind of like Raf's pussy, you know, the vagina, and that's sort of etched in my mind. But I talk to her about it the whole time. But that's what I think about quite a bit of the time. I think it bothers me that Nick's etched my dick in his mind. Oh, it's just, like I fancy Raf a bit, you know. I'm just wondering whether Nick actually secretly fancies me. Yeah, keep talking about it. I mean, frankly, if I see a dick, it just, I don't copy it. It's just gone, delete, into the recycle bin. Pussy might be a different story, but only then, and it's only pussy I like. You know, I like Raf. You know, she's, and there are a few other chicks in there I like as well. But yeah, I'll keep their pictures, but I don't keep everybody's pictures. And I certainly don't run them down for them. And there's plenty of fat chicks and, you know, droopy tits and, you know, and whatever. I wouldn't dare say that to them. I wouldn't humiliate them, and I wouldn't humiliate anybody anywhere. I don't see that as a mark of a man. I don't see it as any measure of a man at all. But that's what's happened. So I'm sort of in a point where I feel fucking fantastic, to be honest. I've never felt, I miss my family. I'll be honest with you. I've been booted. I don't get to see my children. I don't give a shit about my wife anymore. I don't, you know, she's shown her true colours, and I don't even think about it. But I do miss my kids. I think every man does. But apart from that, I feel fucking wonderful, and I don't have a house, money, and actually, that's not even bothering me. I don't feel as if I'm losing anything out in the deal. But I'm working out. I'm actually doing burpees, where you stand up and you drop down, do a push-up, and then jump in the air. And oh my! I did 6 this morning. I was pretty proud of myself. 6. Yeah, they're hard, but because I've got to get rid of this stomach. Like it's all coming off the face and around here, and I'm really delighted with it. Yeah. So yeah, and it helps on my drinking. In fact, I don't even think of alcohol anymore. Honestly, it doesn't even cross my mind most of the time. I've got beer in there. I could go and buy wine, and it just doesn't even occur to me. It's just amazing. And the funny thing was, when it first happened, I thought, imposing. I said, I'll Google this. And I said, I think I impose on people. And the first place it took me to was AA sites, Alcoholics Anonymous. And one after the next, they're saying, I feel like I impose, I feel like I impose, I feel like I impose. Yeah, fair enough. And each response to it, a moderator would respond to it, and they'd say, yeah, it's a disease. It's the alcoholism. That's what's making you feel that way. And I looked at it, and I thought, what a load of horse shit. Sounds right, but if it was right, how come I can go from the 16th of January to the 17th of January, no drugs, no therapy, no counselling, no group AA meetings, nothing. Just like that, one day to the next, like Raf's gone, the one that keeps sort of making me feel like I'm imposing on her, the other one isn't, and everybody else has gone, all the other people have gone, so nobody's making me feel like I'm imposing on them. So one day to the next, suddenly the disease is gone, because I thought, that's what it is. It's not a disease. It's something underneath that's causing the whole thing. And I'm sure it's sponsored by bloody alcohol companies. They don't want us to realise, what's pissing us off underneath. They keep us that way. They can keep selling to us. Who cares if they kill us? Yeah. So I thought, a load of horse shit that is. Yeah, but one after the next, and it was the AA sites. Yeah, I feel like I'm imposing, I feel like I'm imposing, and I feel like I thought, yep, that's exactly how I felt. And suddenly, once I realised it, once I got the thought out in the open and burnt it like a fucking witch at a stake, the drinking just disappeared, gone. So that's why I said to you this morning that what you're doing, I imagine, is you have lost respect for yourself underneath it all, and there would be something. If that's the case, I reckon there would be something like what's happening to me, something really simple that's happening to you as well, and it would be in your mind. I think Raf's got it. I think most people have got it, actually. Most people, if you masturbate, I'm figuring now that you must be doing so because you've lost respect for yourself. And I've noticed a lot of people come in and will knock the wankers, and I think they too have. I mean, it's like getting a kick out of somebody who has lost respect for themselves. I wouldn't get a thrill out of that at all. If I can offer my experiences to others, for example, anybody, and you can derive benefit from it, that's great. I mean, you have to figure out what it is, but all I'm saying to you is this is how it's happened to me. And I've gone from being one way, and I was pretty down, in all honesty. Not really down, but on and off, and Raf was really getting to me. But it's I'll be up for a few days, and then she'd come along and do something and bring me down. And just looking at her made me feel like a drink. And it was just, it doesn't happen anymore. I don't have the same effect. So that was, I just wanted, there was something else I was just thinking about, and I can't remember what it was that I wanted to tell you. But it's the most amazing feeling. I can't describe it. I'm just working out, just want to get rid of all the weight. So I'm down. I'll probably age a little bit. That's what I was going to tell you. It all started. I got my first clue of this years ago. with a friend. He used to hack software for me, computer software. He was the manager of the post office, parcels area at the post office. And I used to go around to his place and get software from him. And I'd pay him for it. But anyway, he was a big bloke. He was 135 kilos. It got that way that I didn't need much more software, and I only saw him intermittently every 3-4 months or something. I'd meet him downtown and say, "Hey, Pete, how are you?" Anyway, one day this old guy came up to me. He said, "G'day, Bob." I said, "Oh, hello, I'm sorry, do I know you?" He said, "Yeah, Pete Casson." I said, "Pete, what's the matter?" Because he'd gone from 135, big, burly sort of bloke, down to this super thin, but very fit looking, but a much older man, looked much older. And he said, "No, I lost all the weight." And I felt uncomfortable with him. I just didn't know him. It was like meeting a new person, a person that it was actually rather freaky. But yeah, he stripped off every fucking last ounce of fat. He always, he went from 135 kilos, I think, down to 75. And I thought it was too much. I thought, no, too much, Pete. Yeah, and to the extent that I felt really uncomfortable with him. But he said one thing to me. Our relationship wasn't the same anymore. It wasn't, I didn't see him as often. But we're still friends and what have you. There's no doubt about it. I liked him. But he said, "Look, if I've achieved nothing else, I've proven it's possible, right? Because nobody else can. Nobody else is doing it. Everybody, the weight just goes up and up and up and up and up." He said, "No. If it's all I'm doing is proving it's possible." He's saying, I don't tell people how to do it or anything else like that, or that they should do it. He said, "All I am is just a living example." I thought that's a great idea, but really, and that's what I want to be. And that's what I want to be to Raph, you, anybody else that wants it. Yeah, it's possible to do. It's possible to get your self-respect back. He didn't explain it in those terms, but I don't know how he said he did it, or even if he knew how he did it. He just got rid of all the weight. In 3 months, from one to the next. Unfortunately, though, about 3 years ago, I ran into his wife or somebody, a co-worker, I think it might have been, and I said, "Where's Pete?" He said, "Oh, no, he died." "What?" He said, "Yeah, he died three months ago." I said, "Well, from the weight loss and all that." I said, No, it was something else. And he said it was a Friday night, and he said, "I just don't feel well," and he died that weekend. And I thought, oh my God, Father. But the point was that, he'd proved to me and to the world that, he went from 135 kilos, almost half his body weight, down to 75. Yeah. And the doctors took him off all medication. I said, "No, don't need that anymore." Perfectly fine. Perfectly healthy. And I looked at him, he didn't seem any unhappier or anything else like that. So he left behind an evidence, So I sort of always kept that in mind. And then I didn't deliberately think of that when I did this, but the same thing is happening to me. Yeah, it's just like pressing a button, bang, gone. And so, I don't know, it could be the same with your headaches and everything. You wouldn't know. Your headaches might go, your sexual fantasies might go, and suddenly you're this new man. It'd be like that. And you go, "Wow, curious, I can't believe this." But I don't know. I mean, you may or may not find it, or but I'm not even telling you that you should. I'm just explaining why my behaviour. It was funny though. I live in a trailer park, caravan park, and I've been left with, as you know, nothing. I've got a push bike and some computers, a whole heap of stuff that I brought with me, but basically nothing. Which doesn't really bother me that much, in all honesty. It's a sort of it's a reason to stay young, to try and kick off again. My father died when he was 62, and all he could say all day was, "Oh dear, oh dear." And he's fat and looked a lot older than me. And he died, and they couldn't figure out what it was. It was an enlarged heart. Yeah, so But anyway, I was down paying the rent. And it was the day after that. It was on Monday, so it was the day after Sunday, which was a record heat, where we had 47 degrees C here. And the first I heard it was I went out. I had to go over town to buy something, And it was cool in the evening, and fucking flat tyre, so I had to fix my flat tyre. And the woman next to us said, "Oh my God," I said, "What's up?" And she said, "Oh, it's 47 degrees." I said, "Oh, was it?" I thought it was a bit up, but I didn't really notice it. And she said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah, I just didn't notice it." And she said, "Oh," she walked away. But I was paying the rent later on, and they were all, oh my God, it was bad. And there was one guy, he lives just across the road, and and they were calculating it with he paid triple in that 2-week period. He paid triple his normal bill. So, he's saying that my air conditioner was on the whole time, didn't go off, and the owner was saying, yeah, we're all in the same boat, yeah, bloody hell, yeah, but it spiked like hell, he just had the air conditioner flowing, and I was sitting there, and I was starting to feel pretty awkward actually. I thought, I had to pinch myself, am I still alive? Or is this a bad dream? And they sort of look, how'd you go, Bob? Well, I didn't notice it. Huh? I said, well, actually, I danced all day, and because I was learning to dance, I was doing dance steps, and I was doing videos for Boom to show what I was doing. I'm going to show you the video. I'm sweating a bit on the day, but it's and I'm going for it, trying to, and I'm bending the whole thing, and the bloke says, "Oh, well, you're in that cooler spot, are you? It's a little bit cooler there." It's not. I said, "No, I had the doors closed, actually, mostly closed on the day. I had the fan on. I thought about turning the fan up to 2, and they sort of looked at me, and I said, "Yeah, well, I've done some different stuff in my head." Huh? I said, "I don't eat as much." "Oh, you eat like an Asian, do you?" I resisted laughing, and I thought, yeah, well, that's kind of what my doctor wants me to do. So, yeah, and I spend a lot of time in rooms with Asians, and I don't want to sort of feel like a fat, slobby, lucky Australian anymore that just shoves food in themselves while they're talking to starving women. So yeah, no, I eat a bit like them now, yeah. But I didn't say all of that, but I thought it, you know what I mean? It was just, yeah, but it made me think, yeah, and I thought, yeah, I tell you what, they come winter, they'll be all wearing t-shirts, yeah. Oh, it's a bit cool, isn't it? I'll be in, 3 overcoats. So I thought, yeah, I think it'll be sensible if I have one diet for summer, and then for winter, I eat a bit more food. And I thought, it's not the fat. You think it's this layer of selvage that makes you hot. And if that was true, then I would have been as hot as them, because, the fat's still there. But I think what it is actually is the amount of food and drink that you're processing at the time. So if you just had a big breakfast and then something afterwards, and lots of milk and then beers for lunch and that sort of thing, yeah, your body is pumping out heat. Because your food warms you. Let's face it, food and alcohol warms you. That's why you have a tote of rum on a cold night and warms you inside. Well, you have a few glasses of wine or a bottle of beer or something, a couple of bottles of beer during the day. Yeah, it's going to warm you. Yeah, so what we're doing is we're pumping all this food into ourselves and then cranking up the air conditioner to keep ourselves cool. Because the thought of doing what I'm doing, would just, make most people's toes curl, I could almost have steamed white rice and fish, which I always say to people who are fat. So why don't you try, white rice and fish, just plain boiled fish. Fuck off, curious. Yeah, so I shove more hamburgers, more chips, and more everything in there. Yeah, but I don't do any of that. I actually, you would not believe how little I eat. I've actually gone on to curries now. But I have white rice, a little bit of curry, and I mix it all around and put a little chutney in there. It's really quite nice. And I'll just sit there and pick at it. It takes me like what used to be done. Next, I'm so hungry. I have another bowl. Which is just. Let's face it, that's how most people, just shovel the fucking food in. Yeah, so I actually got the first clue of it from Zara Boo, from London. Yeah, I watched her eat, and she'll eat like, she'll have a bite and she puts it away, and then she'll chew that, and then she might not have another bite for another 30 seconds or something, maybe longer. Yeah, I tried to do it, I just couldn't. Yeah, so that's where it sort of started. I got the idea of what you're supposed to do, what the outcome's supposed to be. But I had to change something. I couldn't force myself to eat that slowly. This is why diets, I don't reckon, work. And there's no point telling a person what they should and shouldn't eat, because unless you remove the underlying problem, that underlying pressure, it doesn't matter, because it'll just pop like Jack in the Box. It'll burst out. Yeah, but anyway, that's what's been happening in my life. So I'm actually very mindful at the moment, and possibly this is why I'm telling this. I'm very mindful of things that undermine a person's self-respect or self-esteem, and that attack it and bring it down. And I'm starting to look at it like men have lost their self-respect, and that's why they're attacking one another. And it's apparently, from all the vids, that's what they say happens. In the MGTOW vids, they say it happens time and again. When a society goes from patriarchy to matriarchy, it's only a matter of time before that society collapses altogether. And they said, and it's proven in countless experiments with monkeys and all sorts of other animals. Yeah, as soon as I don't know how they feminise the colony, but as soon as it flips, the next thing happens, the males start attacking one another, which is what you're seeing in the room. They just attack the shit out of one another, and pretty soon the whole society collapses. So, and it seems to be holding true. It's all this, I've got to respect women. Look at it, no, respect the women, respect the women, respect the women. And I keep thinking, well, yeah, respect women and men, respect one another. Everybody, respect, but more so respect yourself. Learn to respect yourself, and then you will respect men and women. So what they're really saying is all those people out there who don't respect themselves, try to be respectful to the women. It would be better to say respect yourself, I'd say, And to do that, you have to find out what the underlying problem is. Look, this is just my view, and this is my experience in the last exactly 1 month. It's 1 month today, it's 16th of February. It happened on the 16th of January. And it was funny because Raph hasn't been in the last day. Last time I was talking to Raph, I gave Nika and Maria, I gave them $4 each. Because I felt sorry for Maria. And she, it's a he. He's a lady boy. Maria is. I think it's pretty obvious, but he normally has a bite to eat, or a drink or something in the afternoon, and he'll get a something with a straw or something. Sometimes he has trouble opening, because I have a laugh with him. But he's not a nasty catty lady boy. I don't like them at all, and they're trying to put you down. But no, he's just a lady boy who's trying to make a living, I guess. I don't know. And Nika, well, I thought, well, if I gave it to Maria, I'd have to give her $4 as well. She said she was starving or unhappy or something like that. She always looks unhappy, so I gave her $4. Anyway, I told Raph. I think I told you this. Oh, I fucking went off her nut. She just, I don't want to know about it. And then I thought, I just had such a buzz from doing it, Raph. And I did. I didn't do it for that reason. It's just because I thought, can I afford it? And it's only $8, right? It's nothing. But, I try to keep every cent I can because I need to buy stuff for the business and whatever. Yeah. And I thought, and then when I do it, I think, I get a buzz out of it. It lasts sort of overnight. I told her about that. She blocked me. I haven't seen her since. She's just so pissed off. Yeah, and I thought, and that was I telling you about? I think I did. But yeah, I think what's happened is that Western women feel entitled. All the vids say, the age of entitlement in the West. Everybody feels entitled to stuff, and if I couldn't gift Raph to give her a buzz, like I can get a buzz out of the girls, like for $4, that's. Mwah, thanks, darling. Yeah, thanks, Hannah. Really, really appreciate it. It's really nice. Thank you. Yeah, Raph would be like, what do you want me to do with this? Well, I haven't bothered going into eBay to get it out, and the PayPal to get it out. So can you see what I don't know how much money I'd have to give her any sort of buzz. I'm not going to. I don't have it, and I wouldn't do it anyway. Do you see what I'm saying? There's just no value in gift giving. So this is what I was saying to the other day, that she's actually, without realising it, Western women are out of the gift market. So that act of getting a gift from somebody's gone. It's no longer, or certainly, it probably to their rich boyfriends or rich lovers or something, yeah, it might be. But to us poor people who can't afford no, we can't have that sort of relationship with them anymore. So I suppose, I end up talking more to the Asians or whatever, which doesn't bother me. Yeah, but then she's got to put up with all the other crap that comes with that. But yeah, it's funny. But yes, I'd say she's in the same boat. She doesn't respect herself, which is a pity because she's a young girl and she just looks so unhappy, And so she's just fat. She's taking vitamin B12 shots at the moment, which apparently helps metabolize fat and also deals with depression. And both of those would be playing heavily on the mind. But yeah, it's everybody says it's jealousy. Look, it could be too, I suppose, or it could be that it's just something she realises that that's something that's no longer available to her. The gift thing is that's probably the same as what your Indian friend did. Thought, fucking $5 roses, and give them to your girlfriend. You cheap bastard. It wasn't enough. I don't know, and I hate saying that, but it wouldn't surprise me. Western attitudes are just shocking, and she probably thought, you cheap bastard, cheap fucking roses. Yeah, so, if you'd given the $5 to pretty much any of the Filipinos, they would have been blowing your kisses and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, but anyway, that's what I'm on about. That's what's happening. And I was talking to Dodger last night, and I said, I haven't got any weed either. And he said, I know this is when he's telling me about his friend in Grafton, and he said, I'll put you in touch with him if you want to buy some. And I said, yeah, well, I appreciate that. It's that's tremendous. But I said, I don't, as much as I like it, it won't hurt me to have a break from it. It won't hurt me to have a break from all alcohol, all weed, everything, for a while at least. And so I said, no, and then besides that, I'll appreciate it more. If I have to wait for it, I can go out and buy it now, but, I want to appreciate it. But more than that, I actually thought, no, it won't hurt me to have a break from it and straighten my mind out and sort of thing. So, okay, the offer's there. And so I don't mind Dodger and his friend Nightwalker. Nightwalker apparently was somewhere down south and moved up not far from Dodger in Bundaberg. Yeah, I don't mind them. They're okay. Yeah, it's sort of like, yeah. And I watched his Dodger's friend last night, and he Nightwalker. And he said, yeah, got the real thing. He had a full bottle of Johnny Walker Scotch. I thought, I used to drink. I said, I used to drink about 2/3 of a one a night when I was in the futures market with Coke and ice. I've got a fridge here that I use for ice. It's a camping fridge. It's that big. I used to put all my ice in there. I get through it in 3 or 4 days, maybe a week. Yeah, every night I have a bottle of whiskey. The pressure was that high. Yeah, I don't know how I didn't kill myself then. Yeah, so that's sort of, and that's what now. And just one other thing about this imposing. The funny thing about imposing, this is what I didn't explain, was that when you sense that you're imposing, instead of backing away and say leaving the room or whatever, or you go more, you impose more, you write more, you drink more. It's an alcohol. I'm sure it's what drives alcoholism. It's actually, the more you feel it, the more you do it, and it's a Sorrows explain. I can't think of the word that he uses. It's reflexive. Yeah, reflexivity. Yeah, you feel like you're imposing, so you impose more. And you go, and it sort of gets up on a bubble, and you Yeah, reflexivity. Yeah, George Soros. That's his thing. That's what he works on. Yeah, he tries to make it happen. Yeah, but yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, so like someone says something, do I feel like I'm imposing? So I'll have a drink, and then I'll go in the room and I pose on someone else. They tell me that I'm imposing, so I have another drink, and then I impose more until you get booted or something, or you eventually pass out or whatever. Yeah, that's the odd thing about it. It's a really strange little mental program, that one. Once it kicks in, you just can't control it. Bang, 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 bang. And so that could be happening with your headaches. Probably not, but it could be. Something kicks in, some event happens, triggers it, and then you don't go for alcohol or anything else like that. Your head just goes. Meh. But that's what you think it's muscular, and it could well be. But it wouldn't surprise me if actually something is triggering it, and it sets off this program that freezes, like a computer freezes. You gotta go to bed and stop. Yeah, because well, it's probably because I can feel it. Actually, I had a friend, an old school friend, and I was talking to him on Facebook, and he said, "Yeah, Bob, you tend to go on a bit too much," and that was enough. And that started me. So, "Oh fuck, I'm going to get a beer." So, and then about the next minute or two, he says, "You have a second one, have two," and I did. And I wrote to him the next day. I said, "You got me this time, Mal. You won't get me again." And I said, "No, you fuck." Yeah, because he actually, instead of saying, "Jesus, that's great, Bob. I wish I could do that," or I'm person. No, he had a dig. He said he sort of sensed that. Oh, okay. So you're worried about imposing? Yeah, you do impose a fair bit, you can't. Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, and then why don't you have two beers? So I did. And I said, "Yeah, that'll be it. That'll be the last time you'll get me that, or anyone else." Yeah. So I felt, honestly, because the alcohol didn't stop straight away at all. It took a little bit of a while to die, but fuck me, it's dead now. I can feel it. It's gone in a month. Yeah, no therapy, no AA, nothing, no drugs, nothing. It's just gone. Anyway, that's long enough. Shit, 42 minutes. Sorry to keep it so long. But I think that's everything I had to explain. And I'm sharing it with you, to explain everything. And who knows, you might be able to do something with it as well. But at least you'll understand me. I'll have a better understanding of what I'm on about. Okay, I'll talk to you. See ya.